it's Katie with Embody Daily, and I'd like to talk today about habitual drinking on the Sinclair Method and speak to some points of how you can get out of habitual drinking if you're someone who feels stuck in this experience. And by habitual drinking, I mean this moment in time when you're on the Sinclair Method that happens to a lot of people. It happened to me, where you've been on the medication for a while and your cravings are starting to quiet. You don't want alcohol as much, but you find yourself still taking the naltrexone and drinking, even though you don't really want to, just simply because that's the habit you've been in and it's what you know to do. And like if it was for me, I didn't know what else to do with my time. I'd been drinking wine every night for the better part of 10 years. I just didn't know what else to do with my time. And so there was a period of time where I was kind of stuck in this habit of drinking where I don't know what else to do with myself. I'm just going to continue to drink. And I want to start first of all by saying if this is your experience, try not to judge it or be critical of yourself. I feel like the Sinclair Method is an opportunity for us to really be kind and nurturing to ourselves. So if you're stuck in this experience, just a little note, try not to be judgmental or too critical, just be aware of it. And if it's something you want to shift, start to explore ways that you might be able to shift it for yourself. And that's what I want to share today in this video, is some things that helped me to break that habitual drinking and overcome it and start to fill my life with other things that were more meaningful and more healthy for me than drinking alcohol. So to begin with, the most important thing with getting out of the habitual drinking and starting to incorporate more alcohol-free days in your life is really about the endorphin effect. If you're on the Sinclair Method, you're probably somewhat familiar with endorphins and how when we're taking the naltrexone and drinking, it's blocking the endorphins coming from alcohol. So we're getting less pleasure from alcohol, and that's what's causing us to like it less and less over time. And so on the other side of that, on days where we're not drinking, it's really important for us to engage in activities that will produce healthy endorphins so that we begin to associate those healthy endorphins and that pleasurable feeling with things other than alcohol. And then ideally what happens over time is you begin to associate these healthier activities with pleasure because you're starting to get in the habit of doing these things that are healthier for you and getting healthy endorphins flowing. And you begin to want alcohol less because you're not getting the same endorphin reward from the alcohol. So this is perhaps easier said than done, because I know for myself, I was really stuck in this pattern of habitual drinking because of a few different reasons, really. Because first of all, like I said, I was drinking a bottle of wine a night for so long that I didn't really know what else it is that I enjoyed to do. There were hobbies and activities that I had done here and there, like when I was sober or when I wasn't drinking, throughout the course of my addiction, but I didn't really have something that was meaningful to me that I could plug into. And so I knew that I needed to start developing these new hobbies, and everyone says, oh, just, do what you love. And that was so hard for me to hear that because I didn't know what I loved. It's like first I had to figure out what it is that I love to do. And in order for me to figure out what it is that I love to do, it took a certain amount of vulnerability for me to be able to try new things, even though I knew I was probably going to be bad at them for the first several times that I did them. And I also needed to have a certain amount of curiosity or playfulness or sense of fun within myself. And with these two things, that's what's kind of kept me frozen for a while in the habitual drinking, because I'd forgotten what it was like to have fun as an adult. In my childhood, I was kind of in an environment where I had to kind of grow up and be an adult at a very young age. So I just took life very seriously for a long time. And I think that's why I used alcohol so much, because it allowed me to, lose my inhibitions and be more fun and open, because when I was sober, I was so just like rigorous and didn't know how to have fun. And so that was an aspect I was realizing of myself. Like, I don't even know how to have fun. Like, I'm a beginner at this. You look at kids and they're able to do it and they just make it look so easy, but like having fun as an adult, it felt a little awkward to me. So I knew I needed to explore that more and practice it more, really. And then the second piece of that is is that risk that comes along with trying new things and realizing that you are not going to be good at them for the first time or the first several times you do them. And that kind of kept me stunted for a period of time because I was afraid of trying new things because I thought, oh, like if I'm not good at it, what is that going to make me feel? And so it would just make me feel if I'm not good at it, maybe I'll quit, maybe I won't feel good, maybe I'll fall into a depression. And so this fear of, not wanting to try new things because I wasn't going to be good, and also just not knowing how to have fun as an adult, it kind of kept me frozen in this place for a while and kept me habitually drinking because that's what I knew, that's what I was good at, and these other things were more like these daunting experiences that I didn't know anything about and I didn't even want to try because I wasn't going to be good at them. So I was stuck in this place for a bit, and I knew that I needed to get out of it. And I was becoming more aware of what was keeping me stuck in this frozen non-action state because I was afraid of basically the unknown. And so I was seeing a spiritual counselor at the time, and I've talked about this in other videos, how she advised me to just start doing things I did when I was a kid again. Maybe that was a good place to start to really tap into the playful nature in me and be able to try new things without too much of a barrier, things that were simple, things that if I failed at them, it wasn't going to be a big deal. So that's where I started, was just doing things that I loved when I was a kid again. I started painting, and I'm a terrible painter, but it was more about the joy of the process of it. I picked up sewing again. I used to sew a lot, and it's something I couldn't do when I was drinking a lot because you need to be sober to sew. You can't like mismeasure things. And so I started to pick up these things that I loved to do as a kid again. And with that, it was really like baby steps for me to start doing activities that I knew were simple and fun and things that I could do when I was a kid, just so that I could get into this learning phase of starting to have fun again and starting to engage in hobbies and activities that didn't involve alcohol. And again, starting with the things when I was a kid, it was a very low barrier to entry. So like painting, if I was a bad painter, even when I was painting though, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so bad, I'm gonna throw this away. But it was still just that process of creating that experience of getting these healthy endorphins flowing in a way other than alcohol. And so what really helped me was these baby steps. And again, not thinking of it as some big feat you need to go out and do, or, you need to go run 2 miles just to get those endorphins flowing. It doesn't need to be this obstacle that we place in front of ourselves. And it can actually be something we start like right here, right now. And there's a great video by a man named William Bloom, which I'll link up here. He wrote the book, The Endorphin Effect, where he talks about just 5 easy ways that we can start producing endorphins naturally. Without having to, go out and do big things or do anything. We can really start producing these endorphins naturally just by doing a few simple practices. And one thing he says, by just doing something that you enjoy to do, whatever it is, you're going to be producing endorphins. And so a part of your healing journey, and it was a part of mine on the Sinclair Method, is starting to treat yourself and do things that you really enjoy to do in order to get these endorphins flowing. And if you're like me, starting small is a great place to start, like doing activities you loved as a kid, painting, biking, eating, treats, whatever feels good is going to start those healthy endorphins flowing that over time you will begin to associate with pleasure, and you will want that over alcohol more often than not. And so the way I started with this was planning my non-drinking days and really having a reward for myself around that non-drinking day. If I didn't plan it and I was just thinking, oh, maybe or not, I'll drink tonight, I'm not sure, almost always I would fall into that habit of, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have a drink, especially early on. And so I started to really plan these and schedule things around them so that I was planning an alcohol-free day. I had a reward in place for what I was going to give myself to get the healthy endorphins flowing that was not related to alcohol. And that would then start producing these healthy endorphins for me that I over time began to associate with pleasurable activities, more so than with alcohol. And so it was starting really small and just planning ahead, saying, okay, on Thursday, I'm gonna have an alcohol-free day. Okay, what's the reward you're gonna give yourself in place of the alcohol? There has to be something so that you don't feel deprived. And it's really important to reward yourself as well to get those healthy endorphins flowing. By rewarding yourself, you're really allowing yourself to heal on a deeper level, to let go of the alcohol and find pleasure in other things. So reward yourself, like go out and buy a new outfit, go get a massage, go see a movie, whatever feels rewarding to you, do that. And that's going to start producing these healthy endorphins that you're having and start for you to associate these other healthy activities with pleasure and with fun and with feeling good, as opposed to needing alcohol to do that for you. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you all so much for watching. Talk to you again soon. Bye.